Hi there good people, my name is the Glue Guy and today we rebuild the Miami Dolphins Black Friday style. And the challenge of today is going to be discounts. We can only trade for players that are on the trade block and we can only sign off-season free agents for less than their fair value contracts. If you like this idea or this new series in total, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you have a better rebuilding challenge for me, please put it down in the comments right now, because I love your input. Before we actually start, look in the top left corner. Just see who won the freaking Super Bowl. This is the most freaked out simulation ever. I mean, there's no way the Bills are ever going to win the Super Bowl this year. But doesn't matter right now. The off season starting right now. It's time to see if we can get some guys in here on that 94 million in cap room. And after only 1 week, we got one accepted contract, and it's not a little one. It's halfback Kareem Hunt. What a signing. What a discount we got. Good way to start off our first week. We're still in the bidding war on all these guys, but as you can see, we're being overbid by a lot, by almost everybody. Like a lot. Like a big lot. Only these down end of the free agency guys are still available. Let's advance to week 3. And in week 3, we get Mike Hilton as our cornerback. He's 26 years old, but an 83 overall. We also get Ricky Seals-Jones at tight end. Mackenzie Alexander at cornerback. And Emmanuel Ogba at left end, but we miss out on the big free agents. Hargrave, Peters, Cooper, and Jones, because they just got a lot bigger of a contract somewhere else. We're heading into week 4 of free agency, and we've got Willie Henry on the absolute cheap and Connor McGovern on the absolute cheap. And that's literally all we got. So right before the draft, we've improved this team tremendously, but there's still a lot of holes in here. As you can see, our offensive line is absolute balls. Yeah! Our quarterback is absolute balls. Yeah! But we got 2 good wide receivers at this point, and it won't be hard to get some out of free agency after the draft has been done. We got 2 good tight ends, and most of all, our defense has improved a big lot. We got Henry to be on our offensive line. We got Mike Hilton to be our first cornerback. I'm going to switch that with Xavier Howard, of course, because of the superstar development. And then we got a lot of guys just for backups and making the team a little better. So overall, the team has improved, but we need a real good draft to make it a good, decent team. As most of you know, we have 3 first-round picks because the Dolphins have been really active on the trade market. The Cincinnati Bengals with the first pick have to select a quarterback, and they do. They select Joe Burrow. I think there's a lot of first-round talent in the first 10 picks, especially if you look at quarterback. So I doubt if I have to go for my quarterback immediately, because Chase Young looks like an absolute freaking tank. With the second overall pick, I'm going to select Chase Young out of Ohio State. Of course, Chase Young is number 1 in true talent. We drafted him in the second draft pick. He's got that hidden development, and he's going to be an absolute tank for us. It's time to get our 10th overall draft pick in the 2020 draft. We only have 1 quarterback that I really would like at this point. So Justin Herbert, you are the new quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. He is 27 in true talent. Not that good, but he's 75 overall. He's 6'6", and he could scramble a little bit. He's got great throw power and accuracy, and he's actually fast enough to be a good quarterback. So he's our quarterback of the future. With the 22nd pick in the first round, we have to fill a need for our team. And if we can do that with Raekwon Davis, the run stopper out of Alabama, with an insane combine grade and great start, it's going to be Raekwon Davis, 75 overall, 19 in true talent, hidden development. We drafted a stud here. While my gut tells me to pick a very good tackle with this second overall pick in the second round, I cannot let Henry Ruggs III walk without signing him if he's still there in the second round. So Henry Ruggs III out of Alabama, welcome to the Miami Dolphins. I think it's time that with this 29 pick in the second round, we have to address our offensive line. Otherwise, Justin Herbert is going to be cake for the opposing defensive lines. So Ben Breedson out of Michigan is going to be our final pick, and he is very good. He's actually quite a good tackle. Unfortunately, he only has normal development, but he can at least protect our QBs in some way. Yetur Gross-Matos has fallen all the way down to the second pick in the third round. He is a second round talent, and I think that we could use some defensive line to try and attack the opposing quarterbacks. So I'm signing him. He's a 72 overall power rusher with only normal development, but he's a good pick for the time we're picking. So Robert Hunt out of Louisiana College, welcome to the Miami Dolphins. He's a 67 overall, but has that hidden development trait. So that means he's at least a star or better, and that's a good pick so far down the draft. Quick disclaimer, the rest of the draft was ass. I traded away the rest of the picks. Let's head on in this video. So this first year, this will be the team. Our offensive line sucks absolute balls. So Justin Herbert is going to have a really tough time. We got a nice wide receiver core going with Ruggs, Wilson, and Parker. Kareem Hunt is our star running back. Justin Herbert, of course, our quarterback. Got two pretty decent tight ends. And on the defensive side of the ball, we got a lot of young talent. We got a completely new defensive line with some guys that have good skills at backup positions. We got the nice linebacking core of Baker and McMillan. Let's see what this team can do. It is week 8 of the first season, the 2020 season, and we stink as much as we did last year. We're 1-5. We have absolutely no reason whatsoever to feel good about ourselves. If we go to the schedule, we lost big time against the Jets and the Bills. Close loss against the Chargers and Bengals and Raiders. And the Jets. But okay, so we lose to everybody, but the former Super Bowl champion is our prey. It's like a dolphin rape. And then again, against the Jets, we get ass whooped. So, doesn't seem like our defense is doing all that bad, except for the games against the Jets. But the offense is absolutely not producing at all yet. At the end of the season, we are 4-12. A lot more losses, with the Patriots game as the most ugly game that we could have ever played. I mean, 6-14. That's just absolute boring. But after that, our offense started to score a little bit more, and we even managed to win some games. But overall, if we're not counting this game in against the Jaguars, our defense was doing quite okay. Not many blowouts, so our defensive side of the ball is good. Time to address our offense. If we go to our stats for the season, Justin Herbert in his first season as an NFL quarterback, he had 3,251 yards passing. He had 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Rushing, we had Kareem Hunt going up for a real good season with 1,279 yards, but only 5 touchdowns, with Kalen Ballage having more touchdowns. What is that about? What's that even about? On the receiving end of the ball, we have very little production. We have 761 yards for Devontae Parker, 708 for Albert Wilson, and only 671 yards for Henry Ruggs. And that is not what I was expecting. On the defensive side of the ball, Raekwon McMillan was an absolute tank with 117 tackles. Mackenzie Alexander, the cornerback, and Cordrea Tankersley also had a lot of tackles. If we go for tackles for loss, it was Chase Young with 16 tackles for loss, together with Davon Godchaux, who had 15. McMillan and Raekwon Davis both had 13. If we go to the sacks, we had very little sacks this year, only 4.5 sacks for both Chase Young and Raekwon Davis. couple for Christian Wilkins. On the interceptions, we had Raekwon Millen, also 3 interceptions. Wow, he had quite a season. Jerome Baker had 1, and furthermore, we didn't have a lot of interceptions whatsoever. Off-season number 2, we have Raekwon McMillan, who grew to be a superstar middle linebacker. And I think it's going to be very, very hard to give him anything that could be a fair offer.
A few moments later.
So on a 5-year deal, a fair offer would be $41.7 million. Now I know this might be taking not a lot of discount, but I have to go to keep this guy on our team and try to get a little discount on him. Let's see if he can take it. This offer is perfect. He is accepting below his fair offer, although it's not a lot, I know. But leaving Raekwon Miller after a season like that would be the most stupid thing to rebuild ever. And I'm not interested in any one of these guys, to be fair. So we're dropping most of our linebacker or our wide receiver core, but I don't care because it's off-season time and we're going to get him. Looking at the offers we made in this second off-season, Keanu Neal, I got a huge discount on him. No one is actually trying to use him. I mean, it would be fair to give him $52 million. We would get an $8 million discount, and that would be awesome to get a player like that. Next to that, we went for Tyus Bowser, Malik Collins, John Ross, backup Chuck Clark, Poona Ford, Jordan Jenkins. But the coolest player I've bid on, and I've never, ever seen this before, is a 76 overall rated superstar X-Factor punter. I mean, the dude is a punter, but he's got a superstar X-Factor. We got huge additions to our team. We got John Ross, who's not that good, but we got the biggest one so far. Strong safety, Keanu Neal, 86 overall player, only 26 years old. We got an $8 million discount on him, and that's what I'm talking about. Great news in week 3 of free agents because we got him. The superstar X-Factor punter, Gene Dangus, is our punter from now on. Next to that, we got Tyus Bowser at left outside linebacker and Poona Ford as our backup defensive tackle. So I'm really happy with this free agent class. It is time to start the 2021 NFL draft, and we are so lucky, because the draft pick we had already turned out to be the second draft pick overall. So we have both the first and the second pick in this draft. And we're going to use them. We've got real good use for them. It's not going to be any of these defensive players because we already got them. It is going to be Eric Knight, the wide receiver out of Michigan State. He is going to be the first overall pick. And he is going to be a 77 overall deep threat wide receiver with a hidden development. He is going to be a stud for us. And with the second overall pick, I already know who I want to choose because we need that offensive line to get better. And we cannot ever get better without Gregory Odom out of Ohio State. He's a 77 overall agile right guard, and he's going to be the backbone of this offense. But with our offense being this bad this year, we have to go wide receiver again. Connor Holiday out of Oregon. He's going to be our first round pick. He's a hidden development wide receiver out of Oregon. 25 in true talent, but we drafted him at 33. And with that next pick, we need to address some defensive problems because we need some defensive talent. And if we can get it in the second round, that's what we're going to do with Princeton Bridges out of UCLA. The left outside linebacker is a hidden development player, 71 overall, but he's going to be an absolute stud for us. And in this third round, I'm not going to take the guess. I need Austin Gunter to be our left tackle for the future. Let's select him. He's a 76 overall hidden development agile left tackle. This guy is an absolute tank. 8 in the class, and we drafted him at number 66. So we're going to go Gilbert Humphrey here. He's a late first round talent, 70 overall blocking fullback. Great draft pick. We're going to simulate to the end of the draft, see what the computer can still draft us, because These picks are absolutely not worth it for me. We got a really, really good draft class coming in, only hidden development players, and they're all going to have a starting spot on this team. It is year 2 of the rebuild. We got a really updated team, and it's going to be a lot better this year, even in terms of record after the season. I think most of all our offensive line has got a major update with Gunter and Odom as absolute studs out there. We also signed Tevin Coleman as our backup running back. Our wide receiver core is young and healthy. On the defensive side of the ball, we have Bridges playing at left outside linebacker. I want to know for sure that I didn't by accident get myself a superstar. And furthermore, there's most of all the well-known names already, so let's see what they can do this year. At the midway point of the season, the Miami Dolphins are actually doing pretty good. As you can see here, we're the 6th best team in the complete NFL with a 5-2 record. And if we go to our schedule, you can see that we crushed the Bengals, got a big-ass beating against the Falcons. Then again, we beat the Bills. For the first time in this series, we beat the Jets. We lost big time to the Saints. But then we got 2 big wins against the Buccaneers and the Chiefs. Stats-wise, Justin Herbert is at 1,600 yards with 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. On the rushing end of things, Kareem Hunt has almost 600 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tevin Coleman, 2 touchdowns. Receiving, Eric Knight, our rookie, has been absolutely stunning for us with 328 yards already. Only 1 touchdown though. That's not a lot. Furthermore, Ruggs is doing pretty well. And our other rookie is completely not doing anything. On the defensive side of the ball, Jerome Baker is the one making the most tackles. But if we go to tackles for loss, the ones that actually count, Emmanuel Ogbah, our free agent signing, is doing real good with 5. Chase Young's got 4 and a couple of guys got 3, so nothing special there. If we look at sacks, Christian Wilkins, our backup right end / defensive tackles, got 3, just as Raekwon Davis. Again, I see Jerome Baker out here playing really decent. And then when we go to interceptions, it's Raekwon McMillan with 3 interceptions, doing the usual mega epic stuff. Mike Hilton with 2 interceptions. So that means we only have 6 interceptions so far on the year, and that is not a lot, to be fair. If we then go into our team, we can see that Justin Herbert has been growing 3 points overall. Our wide receiver has gone up 2 overall. Our offensive line, especially on the left side, has been growing like freaking cabbage. Only star development for both of these guys, especially for Odom. I had expected superstar, but hey, you can't have it all. On the defensive side of the ball, we can see that Bridges already grew 3 overall, but we still don't really know what his potential will be. Chase Young is at an 84 overall, and Neal has upgraded himself a little bit. Nothing special here. No major developments, but hey, I still think that this defense looks pretty awesome. On special teams, we got Gene Dangus, and I want him to be both kicker and punter because this guy is just absolutely sick. Knight's also our kick and punt returner at this point. Don't really think I want that. I want Holiday to be our punt returner. So that's it for now. Let's see how the end of the season will look like for this team, and maybe we can get into the playoffs for the first time. Going into the end of the season, in the top half of your screen, you can see that we have to play the wild card against the Cincinnati Bengals. We are currently 10-6, and that is not that far off the nice places in this NFL. I mean, why the crap are the Bills second in the division, but they clinched and we have to play the wild card? If we go to a schedule, you can see that after the bye week, we won against the Titans, lost a close one to the Jaguars, beat the Patriots up close, beat the Panthers up close. We won the Bills, so we should have the tiebreaker there in my opinion. Then again, we lost to the Patriots and the Jets, beat the Colts, and then lost again to the Texans. If we look at the wild card playoff and we advance 1 week, will we be in the playoffs for the first time? No, we are not. Stats-wise, Justin Herbert had another, semi-decent season with 3,500 yards, 28 touchdowns, but only 8 interceptions, which is good. If we look at the rushing end of things, Kareem Hunt had another 1,300 yards this year. Tevin Coleman only 324. Receiving, we had Eric Knight, our rookie, with 873 yards. That's really good. Henry Ruggs, only 600 yards again this year. And, that's about it. Our rookie Connor Holiday, who just turns out to be a star anyway, only had 263 yards, which is not too great, to be fair. On the defensive side of the ball, Raekwon McMillan and Jerome Baker were, of course, the ones with the most tackles, with 118. If we look at tackles for loss, Emmanuel Ogbah went off with 15 tackles for loss and 9 sacks. That is actually pretty impressive. So is Chase Young with 11 tackles for loss and 9.5 sacks, which is really good. And then we got Christian Wilkins, who didn't do anything for us anymore after the bye week. And that's about it. Nothing special here. If we look at interceptions, Raekwon McMillan and Xavier Howard both had 3. Jerome Baker and Mike Hilton both had 2. Neil had 1, so that's quite okay. It's not too crazy. And Gene Dangus, our superstar X-Factor punter, 2,300 yards punted for, but that's nothing really important. Looking at the awards for this year, MVP is Tua Tagovailoa. We are 4th in Coach of the Year, so that's something. Raekwon McMillan is 2nd Defensive Player of the Year. Troy Dye of the Chiefs is the best player in the AFC, and there's no more there. Offensive Rookies of the Year, we got Eric Knight and Connor Holiday, and also Gilbert Humphrey, who is our fullback. I mean, he got an A place. That's quite cool. And on the defensive side of the ball, we got Princeton Bridges, a 76 overall at this point, and he's the only one that gets the award. Looking at the team at this point, before we do anything in the offseason, we have an 84 quarterback with Kareem Hunt as a 93 rated running back. Our wide receiver core looks pretty decent. Our offensive line is starting to, it's starting to take some shape, but it still needs a little bit of work. On the defensive side of the ball, though, we have a left outside linebacker that is almost as good as the one who's backing him up, but he's got the star development. He's younger, so he's going to stay in there. Keanu Neal almost up to a 90 overall. Chase Young up to an 86 overall superstar X Factor. Emmanuel Ogbah had a Pro Bowl selection. I think he was 5th in Defensive Player of the Year. No, he was not. He was just a Pro Bowl selection. And he got the star development for that. So that is something that I like to look after. Most important things for this year is to get a right outside linebacker that is younger and to get a free safety for the future. On the offensive side of the ball, getting a center would be a major upgrade, and getting a tight end would be really important. It is time to re-sign some guys, and although he did have a major season, he's still a normal development and a 79 overall rated middle linebacker. But to be fair, I think that Jerome Baker is the only one that I would really like to get back. Look at Josh Rosen asking for $56.9 million a year as a fair offer. That is just absolutely crazy. But Jerome Baker, we're going to have to take a discount on you, man. Instead of $15 million, we're going to make it $12 million because, of course, this is the Black Friday rebuild. Will it work out for us? It works out for us. Jerome Baker takes the discount because he wants to stay a Dolphin forever. We got him on there for 3 more years, and that is about as long as this rebuild will take. So that's actually good for us. The rest of these guys, I'm going to let them walk and see if we can improve on them. It is week 2 of the off season. We are signing free agents, and in week 1 we got our first signing, and that first signing is no one less than a 95 rated Denzel Ward. You cannot see the fair offer here for him anymore. I mean, the fair offer would be around 60 something million, and we got him for 43. So we got like a, let's say, at least $15 million discount. And I was trying to go for just showing my signings only, because that would speed up the process a lot. And that would make the videos a lot more interesting and fast. But as you can see in this video, it doesn't really work out, because you cannot see the fair offer anymore, because it will just even out the fair offer with your bid. Because as you can understand, a 95 rated 25-year-old would never sign for just $43 million. Just in case anyone doubts you, in my next signings, these are the guys I've tried to get. I needed a tight end, so I tried for Dallas Goedert, but we're probably not going to get him. We bid it $10 million under his fair offer. We bid it half of what he wanted, and we're still first. Mike Gesicki, tried to get him back. We're the only one offering, but we tried to get a $13 million cut. Taron Johnson, tried to get a $5 million cut. Jacob Hollister, $7 million. And Ian Thomas, $7 million too. As you can see, a lot of guys signed. We got the tight end Jacob Hollister. We didn't get Dallas Goedert, but we got our backup running back in Ronald Jones II. He's one of my favorite players in real life. Don't even ask me why. It's just back from when he was still in college, I really used to like the guy. So yeah, that's the story there. Let's head over to the draft. With an 83 overall rating made up by an 87 defense and an 81 rated offense, we have to start to get into the draft. We got a lot of players that we want. We got a few good guys here. We need a backup QB, but that's not all that important to me. As long as Herbert stays okay, we're okay. I wanted to address the offensive line, but it doesn't seem to have a lot of good players in the draft for it. So maybe we can get a couple of steals, but hey, you never know. We got ourselves a couple of tight ends, but none of them seems to be anything good. And on the defense, we're just absolutely loaded with Xavier Howard now as a superstar X Factor. Denzel Ward is a 95 overall rated cornerback. X Factor superstar Chase Young, superstar Davis, McMillan, and Neal. We still didn't get the free safety, but I'm trying to get one in this draft. And we're going to go for some overall depth for it. And, well, let's just see how our team turns out. The players I really need are most of all gone, except for this free safety out here. Wendell Hudson, he's got a 7.6 combine grade, and he's really fast, really strong. He's got the top skills to be a good player, so we're drafting him right here. And he's a 74 overall. Hidden development, he's ranked 14 in true talent when you drafted him at pick 23. I'm not really sure where to go, but I think I cannot pass up a first round talent quarterback. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm picking the quarterback, Jason McCartney, to be our backup. He's first at everything. He's got hidden development, and he could actually be a real steal for us. Jason McCartney would be awesome in my other series. In this route, we got 2 draft picks. We've got number 28 and we got number 23. I'm just really hoping that a lot of the guys are still in there, but that's not the case. Literally everybody I wanted to draft has already been picked. I don't want to lose out on even more players, so I am going to have to go with Brody Paulson just to give us a little bit of depth on the offensive line, but he's not a good player at all. This seems to be a very dramatic draft for us. Quick disclaimer, the rest of the draft was ass. I traded away the rest of the picks. Let's head on in this video. So in this offseason, as you can see, we addressed pretty much everything we wanted to address, except for the tackle spots, because our tackles are still absolute trash. But I mean absolute trash. Most of all, our center, Connor McGovern, is an absolute trash can. We cannot do anything with that dude. But hey, so far it's not too bad. I think we can come a long way with this team. I think we've improved a little bit. At the midway point of the season, it's not going all that well for us. We are on a losing record. We're 3-4, currently 20th in the NFL ranking. And that is because we lost Kareem Hunt to an injury on the first game. Like literally halfway down the game he got injured. Next week he'll be back. But you know how it is with halfbacks. He was a really important part of our team. And you can see that in the outcomes of our matches because we lost 4 straight to the Bengals, Vikings, Packers, and Bills. And since our team's a little more healthy again, we started winning again. So let's see if we can pick it up again. Maybe sneak into the playoffs through the wild card. And hopefully get ourselves to be a superstar player. So shockingly for us, after I thought that we would be more than fine after the bye week, we weren't more than fine. We had another 3-game losing streak, and that ended us in 7-9. So even though the team got better, our record absolutely didn't. And the most important thing for me is that our defense is putting up way worse stats than it did last year. I know halfway through the season I forgot to show you all the stats, so this time I will. Justin Herbert, still not a real spectacular passer. Only about 3,800 yards, 22 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Nothing special again. On the running side of the ball, Kareem Hunt didn't really manage to get back into the season. Only 536 yards. Devin Singletary got 426. And then Ronald Jones and Myles Haskin got a little more than 100. Receiving, Henry Ruggs finally had his first 1,000-yard season. The first time one of our receivers was actually good. Connor Holiday, our last year's wide receiver, got a lot of yards per catch. He had 17.5 yards per catch, 5 touchdowns. He had a real good season, but nevertheless, only 44 receptions and 700 yards. Eric Knight wasn't anything special, 9.5 yards per attempt. On the defensive side of the ball, of course, Raekwon McMillan had more than most tackles. But also I can see that we have very little sacks. Raekwon Davis with 9.5. Christian Wilkins, again from that backup spot, having 8.5. But Chase Young only having 3.5. And that is because he must have been injured. He had almost no tackles. And if key players like him are not producing because they're injured, well, then it's just very easy to understand that this team probably didn't do all this well this year. We had a couple of interceptions, 3 guys with 3 interceptions. Denzel Ward only had 2 and only 5 deflections, so that's a little bit crappy. We pay him a lot of money. He's a 96 overall player. He should be the backbone of this defense, but at this point he's really not producing like the backbone of a defense. So very bad season for us. We were 30th in the NFL in offensive yards, and that is just not going to cut it. We have to do something about our offense because otherwise this isn't going to work out. But first we have to renegotiate the contracts. We have to try to get these guys for less than they are signing or than their fair value. Devin Singletary didn't do a lot for us. Going to keep my hands off of him. Malik Collins as a backup for a year would be good. Let's see if we can get him on the cheap. Little discount. He doesn't like the discount. We traded for him. We can do the franchise tag, but he's absolutely not worth that. Christian Wilkins, though, I want him back on the team. He's been on the team all rebuild. So maybe he will sign for a little less. Yes, he will. Christian Wilkins with a little discount. Ricky Seals-Jones can go. Connor McGovern, I really don't like him all that much. I'm going to try to sign some other center. And all these guys suck. So we're not re-signing those guys. Let's head into free agency and see who we can pick up there. So at this point, I'm going to try and get some veterans, trying to get some offensive line improvements, trying to try to get some backups because most of the starting positions in my team have already been selected. But we're going to get ourselves a superstar X-Factor Chris Harris as a third string cornerback, trying to get these tackles to be backups or maybe even starters if they're still on the right track. Burke Kirven is the one that I actually want to get some really needed improvement on right outside linebacker. I need some backup tackles, and that's most of all it. Going into week 2 of the offseason, we got a right guard at 77 rated. We got Logan Ryan, who is a superstar cornerback. Maybe we can have him to have a big last season for us. So that would be awesome, but we're still not there. In week 3, we got accepted contracts from Ben Burkirven. I really love that name. Hope he's going to be an absolute tank for us. And more rejected than not, but we still got Chris Harris with a superstar X Factor. The rest rejected us, except for this kicker. I mean, hey, he's someone. So at this point, late in the rebuild, the computer simulation is giving us absolutely nothing. The draft class is shit. The free agents are shit. But you're not shit if you're still watching. If you're still watching, you are a true glue guy. If you haven't subscribed yet at this point, this is the right time to do it. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. And if you've got some new ideas for these videos, please leave them down below in the comments. And then it's time to start the 2023 NFL Draft. But there really isn't all that much in this draft class that I still want, because every player that I actually wanted is already picked by the computer. So we're going to go Kari Pollack here. Maybe he can take maybe he can take the Akov Kareem Hunt for him. And he's a 78 overall running back with hidden development. And he's going to be playing a lot for us. I can guarantee you that. We still need ourselves a player that could potentially protect our quarterback against all evil. And we don't have any centers on the roster yet. So I think upgrading the offensive line is the most important thing at this point, because we don't need anyone on defense. Our defense is quite stellar. So I'm going to go Quinn Hoffman out of Northwestern. And he's a hidden development, but he's only a 70 rated player. Maybe if we switch his position, he could be someone for us. But at this point, he doesn't seem good enough to protect our quarterback this year. And I'm going to have to guess on my scouting report, go for first round talent, and that is Del Dunn out of Colorado State. Only a 70 overall normal. I mean, he's first round talent, but his development will be too late for us to be from any influence. At the start of the 4th and final season, the lineup is according to this. We have an 87 rated quarterback, an 89 rated running back with a hidden development first round talent rookie right behind him to take the other snaps. We got an 85 rated wide receiver paired up with an 83 and a 79 rated star. We got an offensive line that is decent but not good. Our tight ends are absolute freaking wood. But our defense is an absolute tank team. We got Chase Young, Raekwon Davis, Xavier Howard, and Chris Harris as superstar X Factors. We got 3 superstar rated 86 overall plays. We got a 96 player in Denzel Ward. I mean, this team has got everything to succeed this year. The only thing we still need is a little bit of luck. At the midway point of the season, the Miami Dolphins are 4-3. We even got a whitewash by the Raiders. We started off the season absolutely terrible. And after that, we started winning a little, only outscoring our opponents 1 point, only losing by 1 point. But against the Giants, everything was good again. So let's just hope that this year we'll make the playoffs and get a big run into it. If we look at the stats of our team, Justin Herbert, as always, middle of the pack, nothing special. If we go to rushing, Kareem Hunt is on pace for a decent but not all too great season. The wide receivers are not at all. There's no big wide receiver in our team because it's very well divided between all of them. And in the defense, we have Raekwon McMillan as usual with most tackles, and not most tackles for loss because Christian Wilkins is doing all that for us. Raekwon Davis is the one that gives us the sacks, and on the interceptions, we only have 5 so far this season, including 2 from Chris Harris Jr., who is by this time really a senior. Before I show you all the stats and the win-loss record, I am going to point out that this team is an 88 overall with a 90 quarterback, a 91st running back, 87 and 86 rated wide receivers, an offensive line that is not too trash, that can really hold its own against a lot of teams if you ask me, a defense that's got 4 superstar X Factors and 3 superstars that has all the star power in the world, special teams with a X Factor superstar punter with an 8-7 record, not going to the playoffs. We only made the playoffs once. We've tried variations of playbooks and playing styles, but we were completely unable to get any Super Bowl. That's the biggest letdown ever. Justin Herbert finally had a good season. He had 3,800 yards. Rushing, Kareem Hunt had another 1,000 yards plus season. On the receiving end, no 1,000-yarder. Eric Knight was really close though. And on the defensive side of the ball, we had 16 tackles for loss by Christian Wilkins and 15 by Raekwon Davis. Raekwon Davis also happened to be the team leader in sacks and for the interception side of the ball. Ward and Harris Jr. both got 3. A couple of guys got 1. Keanu Neal got 2. But that's not important anymore because all the stats don't count if you don't get wins. We were 13th in offense, 22nd in defense. For the first time, our defense sucked more than our offense. And I really don't understand how that is a possibility. With this team, I mean, look at it. It should be more than capable of getting into the playoffs and surviving for a round. But hey, that's not how this episode went. If you still like it, then please leave a comment down below about maybe a new idea for a challenge for me that maybe could give me a team to win the Super Bowl. If you like this video but you're not subscribed yet, this is your chance to do it. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon next to it. My name is The Glue Guy. I had very much fun recording this video. If you had fun watching it, then please put that down below somewhere by liking, subscribing, or commenting. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great Black Friday. Bye, guys.